for you. Korean Zerg versus Chinese Zerg. Both of these guys among the best in the business. Let's get into game number 1.
Oh, so Comm needs to come out swinging here.
Yeah.
He needs to do something that will surprise Curious and make Curious curious.
Make Curious curiouser.
As to whether or not he can actually win this. You need to instill fear into your enemy's heart. Make sure that he can't concentrate. Strike him where he's weak.
Well, you might be able to do that, man, because we are now into the game. The map, of course, is Ohana, map number 1 of this best of 3 between these two incredibly talented Zerg spawning. In the bottom right position as the blue Zerg, ladies and gentlemen, we have Spider.Comm. And his opponent in the top left as the red Zerg player, one of the best in the business. It is StarTale.Curious.
Now, we talked about this a little bit yesterday. That production tab is where you are going to see pretty much all of the story here.
Yep.
So, to give you guys a little bit of insight, Comm has already started his Overlord, whereas on the other hand, Curious has not. He has stayed at that 10 worker mark.
Oh, Curious! Wow. Here we go. So maybe Curious now is going to be checking out exactly what Comm is made of here. He's going to be the first one to be mixing things up here in this ZVZ. The 10 pool has gone down, and it looks like a gas, possibly a double extractor trick here. Yes, indeed it is. So Curious is going to want to open things up here with a little bit of early game aggression. What is Comm going to be doing in response? It looks like he's going for the hatchery first. A drone going down the ramp to the natural expansion location. The Overlords are past each other in the center of the map now, and Comm is completely oblivious as to what is incoming. He'll know shortly as the first lings pop out the pool. Now finishing for Curious, and 6 lings immediately getting produced. Curious will shortly be on the move.
Oh man, now Comm, this is a very difficult defense to put up with. He's going to need to pull those drones and micro them beautifully. One of the ways that we've seen it dealt with previously has been where you stack up all of the drones and turn around and try to like one-shot snipe a lot of the Zerglings, but it's very difficult. Now this pool is so very late. Comm got extremely greedy, and now Comm is going to see the incoming threat. What is he going to do to respond to it?
Well, he's going, he did go for a gas and then a pull after the hatch.
Maybe he'll have to just take as much damage as he can on that hatchery out there and cancel it at the last second to buy him as much time as possible.
That would make a lot of sense. The problem is the hatchery is actually 15 seconds prior to completion, so he's not actually going to have too much time here. He needs to decide very quickly whether he wants to save that hatchery or not. It's going down to about 3/4 health at the moment, and the pool is popping out now. And actually, Comm nearly
so he
enough.
did cancel it. He did cancel the hatchery out there, so now Curious is moving up into the main. It bought him a few seconds. He's got 4 lings and 1 queen on the way. It's going to all come down to how he micros these drones, and there he is stacking them all up.
Good drone.
Oh, and Comm knows the trick. He doesn't want to get over there and fight. You can see him microing around, doing those one-shots onto the lings, but oh no, that is too much surface area. You do not want to give the lings that much advantage as far as the tactical positioning goes here. Oh man, and now he's using the lings to bear on the front lines over here, and the queen is only a couple seconds away from popping out.
Oh wow, Comm.
Now Comm handled that relatively well. All things considered, the drone count is still equal, and Curious's advantage only truly lies in his ling count.
Comm handled that very well, but actually, Rob, I reckon, because Curious was playing that so smart, he was droning non-stop behind that. And if we take a look at the worker count now, it's actually 19 to 15 in favor of Curious.
Up with that last round.
And he's put his natural expansion hatchery down. So this was a ploy here to get him a macro. Curious wasn't looking to end the game right here, right now. He just wanted to force the cancel on the hatch and get Comm to make some Zerglings when he otherwise would have wanted to drone up. And of course, Comm used those minerals to put down the hatch earlier on as well. So that's given Curious a little bit of a macro advantage here.
Well, if Comm hadn't responded correctly, he would have just lost everything. So, I mean, it was very possible for Curious to have killed him.
Oh, and we appear to be going shortly into what could be a very classic ZVZ encounter here, because Curious has got the Bailing Nest already a quarter on the way. And Comm trying to continue to drone up here, but Curious already up to 27 workers versus 16 because he managed to get the hatchery down while he was maintaining that aggression. He might be able just to use this economy, especially with a Spine Crawler going up as well for defense as well. He could use the economy here to maybe just like start plowing into the natural and try and force Comm to defend there once more.
Well, he doesn't have speed out, and he hasn't started it, so
That's true.
He likely won't try to get too aggressive there just because Comm has had his speed finished for a good while. So if we see Curious move out too far, all of his lings will die. That Bailing Nest is primarily going to be used for defense right now.
That's a great point, actually, Rob. Curious, if he wanted to move out across the map and completely do a kill move, he would really want that Zergling speed in. But what he's actually going to be doing instead, by the looks of things, is he's just going to drone up as hard as he can. He still has an 11-worker lead over Comm at the moment, 35 to 24. And he's going to be moving out to the Watchtower with a couple of units. Oh, those Banelings not quite getting the engagement they want. Comm moving away at very literally the last second there and not getting a good engagement. One Baneling for one Zergling twice over. And Curious unable to break out of his natural just yet. Nice third Baneling hit there, takes out the rest of the lings.
So I don't know if I really like trading that much gas for 3 lings, especially when you already have lings back in your base. Keeping the Banelings behind can be
well, the first
very,
two were only traded for
useful.
1 each, man.
Well, I think they just barely snagged second ones for each of them, but still trading 1 Baneling for 2 lings is not favorable. Oh, wow. So that is actually a really nice trade for Comm there. Oh, man, will he be able to get rid of the second batch of Baneling? No. Oh, that is just far too many to die. Comm losing all of his Zerglings left and right. We do have the Roach Horn being added on for both of the players. They're also simultaneously going for their layers.
Not getting the
well.
Queen.
Oh,
that Queen at so low health. 10 hit points, and now we have lings in the main. But nice defensive Banelings, I think. Curious trying to zone out those lings from doing too much worker damage. Number of workers killed by Spider.Comm this game.
Oh, is he going to get out there and be able to kill the Queen? Yes, he does close in on it and finishes out the Queen at the natural.
Very nice. Could have done that the first time around, but good cleaning up there from Comm. He still is on 0 workers killed this game so far, though. So Curious, with those defensive Banelings, doing a great job of making sure Tom does not get a word in edgeways. And still, we're going to be going for the +1 missile attacks. Glial Reconstitution coming out of Curious now as well. And an additional Queen to replace the one that just went down. He's also going for his third base quite quickly as he prods in with this counterattack.
Uh-oh. Well, that'll be interesting. Now, Curious should be able to hold that handle. He's also now moving up into the main. Oh, man. Speed doesn't matter when you've got enough of them. Whoa! Ooh. The Baneling does get in there, gets a huge connect. Now the Roaches are only just starting to pop out, but that drone kill count is absolutely climbing.
Yep, all the way up to 9 at the moment for Curious, and still 4 lings in the main base. Going to try and pick off a couple of those workers that are on gas as well, specifically targeting them down. 2 of them on red health, 2 of them on less than 5 hit points, and not quite able to make it stick. Good micro coming out of there from Comm. Workers killed, stays at 9.
So now the worker count is actually surprisingly equal, but Curious has a good chunk of extra Roaches out on the play. The story is here in the Army Supply. 44 Army Supply for Curious compared to Comm's not as large 12.
Yeah, so what's happened basically is that Comm was down on workers after that opening from Curious, and now he's using the opportunity to drone up again, which is why if we took a quick look at the worker supply, Comm's actually back up to parity and even ahead of you, 54 to 51. But during that time, Comm has been droning up in the last minute or two. Curious has just been making an absolutely huge army. His army supply is effectively double that of his opponents at the moment, and that's really showing. 115 against 89. Curious might be gearing himself up here for a tremendous attack.
Now, Curious is likely going to wait for his infestors before he does go for that killing blow, unless he really smells a lot of weakness, because, hey, why not wait for your +2? He's already a good chunk ahead. His +1 finished a good while earlier. He didn't choose to push across with that, and now he's got the third up. Why not sit back on your third base when you've already got infestors and +2 on the way?
That's a pretty good point. I mean, both sides have an infestation pit now, so if Curious knows he's a fair chunk ahead, he could just go for those quick infestors. The thing is, he actually didn't have the gas to go for that pathogen glands upgrade too soon, and as a result, Comm has faster pathogen glands, so needs to be a little bit careful there. And Curious actually deciding just to move out with the roaches alone before the infestors become a factor here, and he's at 155 supply to 117 with more roaches than Comm. This could end up being good.
Oh, there are just so many extra roaches over there. The defender's advantage doing almost nothing for Comm. The advantage has just continued to pile on, and now Comm doesn't have enough left to try to defend here. We're seeing those roaches fall left and right. He didn't even wait for +2. Curious said, no, I'm just going to kill you right now. Comm even forced to pull off drones, and Comm tapping out, leading Curious to a 1-0 victory.
Wow. So a great attack there from Curious, pushing forward with those roaches when he knew he had the advantage. Yeah. Could have waited for the infestors as well in +2 because his +2 was faster than his opponent's.
Yeah.